You ever feel like you've got this secret ability? Like you can walk into a room and just know what's going on before anyone says a thing? Well, today we're going to dig into the psychology behind that exact feeling. It's what I call your silent strength.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you know exactly what I'm talking about. You walk through a door and bam, this invisible wave just hits you. It could be tension, sadness, maybe even some kind of hidden excitement. You just feel it, right? Deep down. And you can't really explain how you just know.
And let me tell you, it's not you being overly sensitive or anything like that, and it's not just some random gut feeling. Turns out, psychology actually has a name for this. It's a specific, highly developed cognitive trait, a skill that was basically forged in your mind's history. So, let's get into how it all works.
Okay, so to really get this, we've got to go back to the beginning. Because for a lot of people, this skill didn't start out as a cool party trick. It started as a way to survive.
At the very heart of this is a concept called hyper-awareness. The best way to think about it is like your brain has this built-in radar that's just always on. It's constantly scanning, picking up on these tiny, subtle shifts in the environment that most people, well, they just walk right past.
So how do you even develop something like that? Well, for a lot of folks, this skill was hammered out in really tough, unpredictable situations, a lot of times when they were young. The brain figured out pretty quickly that staying safe meant you had to be the first one to notice when the mood shifted, the first to pick up on a potential threat, the first to understand what people weren't saying out loud.
And this is so important. That thing that started as a defense mechanism, like a set of mental armor, it doesn't just disappear when things get better. Nope. It evolves. It gets sharper and it turns into this incredible, permanent strength. A seriously powerful tool for just navigating life.
Okay, so your brain is wired for survival. What does that actually look like in social situations? What's in your toolkit? Well, it really all boils down to one thing. You see the details that other people just don't. This comparison really says it all, doesn't it? See, where most people just hear the words being said, you're hearing the tiny shifts in vocal tone. They might see a smile, but you catch that split-second micro-expression. You know, those little facial twitches people can't control that give away how they really feel. You're basically processing a whole other layer of information that's invisible to almost everyone else.
And the thing is, you're not even trying to do this. It's not a conscious effort. Your brain is just naturally, automatically drawn to this stuff. The tone, the facial cues, the little behavioral tics. It's because your mind learned a long time ago that those were the signals that told the real story. That was the key to figuring out what was actually happening.
Which leads us to the next big tool in your toolkit, and this one's a little tricky. It's called guarded empathy. I know, it sounds like a total contradiction, right? How can you feel things so deeply for other people, but also have this wall up? Well, it actually makes perfect sense when you think about it. It's because you feel other people's emotions so easily, so intensely, that it can just be a lot. It's overwhelming. So your brain developed another protective measure. You learned to be cautious. You can read people and feel for them, for sure, but you're extremely careful about who you let in and who you trust with your own feelings.
Right. So your brain is like this supercomputer, constantly gathering all this detailed social and emotional data. So what happens next? Does it just get deleted? No way. It gets processed thoroughly.
And this usually happens in a three-step cycle that I bet is going to sound really familiar. First, you sense the shift in energy. That's that gut feeling. Then, your brain captures it, basically taking a mental snapshot and flagging it as important. And then later, probably when you're by yourself, you replay the whole thing, analyzing all those little details to figure out what was really going on under the surface. You know, this is exactly why you might find yourself replaying conversations over and over in your head. You're not being neurotic or obsessive. Your brain is just doing its job. It's taking those really vivid emotional snapshots and running diagnostics, trying to decode all the unspoken stuff you picked up on. Now, all of this leads to a strength that might seem really surprising at first. It's this incredible sense of calm right in the middle of chaos. There's a psychological term for it, stress inoculation. It basically means that because you've dealt with so much pressure in the past, your system has built up a kind of emotional immunity. And man, this comparison just hits the nail on the head. When a situation gets tense and everybody else starts freaking out, what do? You often get calmer, more focused, more observant. You don't get sucked into the drama because you have this internal anchor, this deep down knowledge that you've handled worse before and you know how to ride out the storm. You instinctively protect your own peace.
So you take the hyper-awareness, you add the deep social analysis, you mix in that guarded empathy, and top it off with that calmness and chaos, and suddenly a really clear picture of this incredible silent strength starts to form.
So if you've always felt like you carry this silent strength, listen to me. You are not imagining it. It's not just anxiety. It's not just overthinking. It is a finely tuned cognitive system. It's a genuine strength that lets you see and understand the world on a level that, honestly, most people can't.
Look, your ability to read a room isn't just some neat trick. It is a testament to everything you've been through. It's a huge part of your story. So if you want to better understand the hidden psychology behind your own mind and really learn how to turn this awareness into your greatest asset, go ahead and subscribe. We've got a lot more to explore.